So this is a big fight, and Coach Perillo knows a lot about this division. He coaches Chito Vera. We have Merab versus Sean O'Malley, who had the belt going into the night. And a lot of people were saying the same thing. If Merab can get him to the floor, he could win. But Sean's Chris, Sean's this, Sean's, the champion, X, Y, and Z. We saw a lot of hype going into the fight, and the odds were forever in Sean's favor. Now, when the fight started, like TJ, you said this morning, it's just things you probably didn't expect. So,
it's not that I didn't expect it. Like, I knew that, so I was talking about this fight. It's very, very close when it comes to the betting odds. And even when I had to go and pick even when I had to go and pick the fight, it's like I knew Merab had a chance to just pressure the fuck out of him. The guy's a Tasmanian devil, never stops, continues to shoot shots. Like, you always know it's a possibility, but I thought, especially after watching how O'Malley's composed himself and how well he's done on his feet, using his feints, using his distance, using his angles, I thought that he'd be able to keep that distance and control. It was hard for Aljo to take him down and spark him. That's what I thought could happen as well, right? I didn't think it was going to be this easy for Merab. Merab made him look weak, very weak.
Can I tell you something I've been thinking about for a while? I feel like Sean O'Malley never wanted to fight Merab, and Merab made.
Well, he's gonna make the fight ugly.
Yeah, but he made that fight happen, right? Yeah. With his trolling on the internet and stuff like that, and you can see it in his face. O'Malley, it's hard to mentally get into a training camp and do all this stuff because you think it negative, like I didn't want this fight. I didn't want this fight.
Yeah,
and you can see.
What about this? How crazy was this?
Does anyone know what they were talking about there?
It's it was Tim Welch like talking shit to Merab while the fight's going on.
Tim Bosch?
No, Tim Welch is, Sean's coach, and they have a history of this because of the Aljo fight.
What, he's just. You can talk as much shit as you want.
I know. I didn't know that was a rule.
I know, but here's the back history. Is Aljo would say that Tim would be telling Aljo, yo, you got to go, Aljo. You got to go, Aljo. And Aljo said this going into the fight that should be kind of like illegal, this counter coaching. I don't know if he said the term illegal, but definitely it was.
Why, though? That's fucking stupid.
I don't know. This is just what happened.
Yeah.
So going right when this fight started, Merab, right when it started, Tim was yelling at Merab probably the same thing, and Merab was over it. But Merab said in the press conference that he had told Herb Dean, like, yo, my bad, and then I'll get back to fighting. But it definitely threw off the entire first round start point.
You wanted to show off, but that was close. Dude, I'd say the first 2 minutes of this fight, O'Malley looked good. Like, he was feinting, he was hitting the body, he'd hit a couple sprint crosses with his left hand. I thought he looked good the first couple minutes of this round, but then after that, it was the whole Merab show the entire time.
I don't think Merab was patient. He's super smart. Took his time every round. That's the biggest thing. Obviously, rushing in, what Aljo did, he got caught. And leave openings. You can't leave openings with this guy's a sharpshooter.
O'Malley's got the skills to beat this guy, though. He unfortunately just did not use them. Like how he could feint to freeze him. He's got to hit his sprint crosses, get outside of his shoulders so the takedown's not there. What we call in the Bang Muay Thai system, you slap a hook and get outside so you can start punching from outside of his shoulders, right? When you're outside of his shoulders, the takedowns aren't there because all he's hitting is a blast double leg. He's going to get you to the cage or hit a blast double leg. So if you can stay outside of his shoulders with your punches, like the takedowns aren't there. Obviously, it's going to happen here and there, but not as easy as Merab was able to do it.
Luke, you talked a lot about the kicks and the way that you can use length in the fight, and you were talking about Sean and Merab going to the fight, the way Merab would have to blast those double legs, or the way he'd have to lift them up when he hits the double legs, different things like that. You want to touch upon what you saw during this fight?
I mean, O'Malley's more of a puncher, not really a kicker, especially not power kicks. I'm fighting a wrestler like this, I'm sweeping his leg. I'm going hard kicks, and I'm taking that front leg out. I want to take his base. There. But O'Malley's just all hands. He's trying to pick those shots, but Rob was just so sharp.
That step cross, dude.
Coach Perillo, you've had a battle against Sean twice. One Cheeto won, and then obviously the most recent for the belt. What did you see from Sean in this fight that probably was not like him or that looked off?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say because he's a real rhythmatic fighter too. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I mean, I know TJ is a real rhythmatic fighter, so he understands that. And a lot of times when rhythmatic, you get in front of awkwardness. It's way harder. You're almost better off in front of a guy that's slick, and fast,
because you know what they're doing.
Yeah,
right?
The guy with a lot more coordination where. He's got a herky-jerky offbeat rhythm. The new champ was Merab.
Merab's got ugly style.
Yeah, and sometimes ugly works.
He does,
and one thing that ugly doesn't always work, but you have to have the heart and the guts. Let's go back. I'm not going to keep on talking about that with everybody, but this guy, you can feel a man's energy and his pressure too when he's in front of you. We don't see what's going on when they're not exchanging. We don't feel what each other's base has, and just he could feel. Believe me, Sean's a smart motherfucker, and he's feeling the energy of this guy. He's like, okay, he's gonna slow down. I'm gonna eventually get him. I'm gonna eventually get him. And Rob's energy just stays through the roof through the entire fight. I mean. Go ahead.
His cardio needs to be tested. It's crazy.
And look at how he moves. He just really, which way am I going? Am I going left? He's shaking and baking. What am I doing? Like you said, he wants to catch him coming in like he does with Aljo, and he kept him off balance the whole fight.